The game's the game, yeah? A fight's a fight. No, don't worry about it. It's a step over. It's done. What I'm saying now is all bets are off.
Conor has that, and Tony has the task of having to do that with Conor. He has to make sure that he uses that fire and that aggression and that real will to win in the right pattern.
I'm going for a lot for Conor Benn with the spitefulness and the hatred that he has. And I know when you really dislike someone, it brings something out of you. But you know, I'm looking forward to that fight.
It's a mismatch. It's an entertaining matchup.
Why is it a mismatch?
Because of ability, because of weight classes.
Boxing experts have weighed in on the Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn fight, with Eddie Hearn predicting Benn will come out like a caged animal when the bell rings in April. Although he recognizes Benn's size disadvantage, Hearn believes Benn's hunger, speed, and aggression will make up for it. He sees Benn's relentless pressure as a key factor, making the fight an intense and explosive showdown.
I can't wait. I mean, look, Eubank's playing a blinder for the promotion fight. I mean, a little bit annoying. I mean, unfortunately, if I could fight, I'd want to give him a slap myself, but that's not going to happen. So, Conor's fired up. I mean, honestly, I've never seen someone put themselves through what he is putting himself through in training camp. He's going to be like a caged animal when that bell goes on April 26th. A big disadvantage in size, but he makes up for it in attribute, hunger, youth, tenacity, volatility, and he is in camp with his dad, grafting and dreaming every day of violating Chris Eubank Jr. on April 26th and doing it in spectacular fashion. And I can't wait.
Many boxing experts consider the fight a mismatch due to the considerable weight class difference between the two fighters. The main concern is Benn's move up 2 weight divisions to face Eubank Jr., who has spent much of his career in a higher weight class. This jump raises doubts about Benn's ability to handle the physical demands and power at the super middleweight level. The general belief is that size and weight advantages are often key factors in determining the outcome, potentially giving Eubank Jr. the edge.
It's a mismatch. It's an entertaining matchup.
Why is it a mismatch?
Because of ability, because of weight classes. Chris Jr. is a middleweight and a super middleweight. He's naturally a super middleweight. So, he's having to starve himself to come down and, with all the catch weights and all of this stuff, it's a mismatch. He is operated at world level. He's been in with the likes of George Groves and, the list goes on. It's a mismatch in ability and weight class.
Spencer Finn, a respected boxing analyst, points out the deep-rooted history between the Eubank and Benn families. He underscores how the rivalry, which started with their father's legendary bouts, adds an extra layer of excitement to the upcoming fight. Finn notes that this generational rivalry has captured the public's imagination, making it one of the most talked-about matchups. The historical backdrop not only heightens the intrigue, but also places added pressure on both fighters to honor their family legacies.
And the hatred that he has, and I know when you really dislike someone, it brings something out of you. But I'm looking forward to that fight. But the simple fact is, like, that event within itself is fantastic because it's crossed over. Lots of people are talking about it. Everywhere you go, people are talking about it. There was nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely excellent. Plus, I can remember when the two fathers first fought, and when the second time was all different in October of 93. But when the fathers first fought, when they first went at it, I remember that fight clearly in my head. It was a Sunday night. It was at November 18th, 1990, and it was like, it seemed like the world stopped to watch that fight. And this has drawn something from it because everybody's talking about it. And fair play to both men, they're selling the fight really well, which is genuine. It's not orchestrated. No, you're going to do this, something. No, it's proper. So I'm looking forward to that fight. May the better man win.
Yeah, for sure.
The historical context not only adds intrigue, but also intensifies the pressure on both fighters to uphold their family legacies. Conor Benn has openly discussed the weight of the legacy left by his father, Nigel Benn, in relation to the Eubank rivalry. He humorously questioned why his father left him to handle the ongoing feud, highlighting the personal and emotional layers of the matchup. This candid admission emphasizes the unique challenges Benn faces as he navigates a balance between personal history and his professional goals.
It's only right that I do justice for the second fight. It was a draw that he should have won. Ultimately, I'm just, Dad, why have you left your dirty laundry to me, man? Why have I got to close the show for you? Why have I got to handle your dirty business? I've got to do this for my dad, because he couldn't do it himself.
Brave man, Conor, brave man.
Darren Barker, a former middleweight champion, highlights the crucial role of the jab in this fight. He believes Conor Benn's superior jab could be a game changer. Barker notes that Benn's natural aggression, paired with an effective jab, has the potential to throw Eubank Jr.'s rhythm and strategy off balance. This technical analysis suggests that, despite his size disadvantage, Benn's skill set could present significant challenges for Eubank Jr.
Important. So yes, attacks to the body going to be paramount. I think the jab, crucial. I think out of the two, Conor has the better jab. At times, Eubank Jr.'s jab's been non-existent. We see him starting to use his jab a little bit more under his short time with Wood Jones, but it's a shot that he neglects. So yeah, I think variation, certainly from Conor Benn, is going to be much needed on April 26th.
Obviously, we've seen quite a fiery build-up between the pair. Do you feel like Junior's trying to play up to that, trying to get beneath the skin of Conor Benn and hoping that he just disrupts him and his mentality going through his camp and ultimately leading up to fight night?
Yeah, I think so. That's maturity and experience. That's how it. But Conor's naturally fiery. Conor has that bit between his teeth. He's his dad's son. His dad was as far as they come, and so was Conor. I think if Chris Eubank Jr. was placid and respectful, I think Conor would still be fiery. But yeah, he's. I would have thought he's won quite a lot of people over, Chris Eubank Jr. Although him and his dad have always been Marmite, you either love him or you hate him. I think where he's been so outspoken and he said things a lot of people probably wouldn't have. People have sort of warmed to him, but there's always a goodie and a villain in a lot of these grudge matches. But this one seems to have really a split opinion. They both have.
Renowned trainer Roy Jones Jr., who has worked closely with Chris Eubank Jr., vouches for his significant improvements. Jones highlights that Eubank Jr.'s enhanced skills, combined with his natural size and strength, could pose serious challenges for Benn. He suggests that if Benn's punches don't make a significant impact, Eubank Jr. could take control of the fight, using his physical advantages and refined techniques to dominate.
How do you see that one going?
Very tough fight for Conor. Not saying he can't win it because one big left hook could change anything. But to me, his best chance are to try to land a big shot. If that don't happen, or if he lands it and it don't hurt Chris, then it's going to be pretty rough for him because Chris is definitely an improved fighter. You understand me? And even the stuff he's doing now, he's going to continue to get better, but I think when he came down there with me for that year, it improved his foundation. You understand me? So it made him a better fighter. So he's going to be hard to beat for anybody, especially a guy that's smaller than him. But we saw Liam Swift out to upset that one time, so I know that gave Ben much more hope that he could probably do the same. So it's going to be a great fight. Both fighters are great fighters. I love both of them. I think Chris is a little bigger and has the advantage because he's bigger. But it's going to be a great fight.
You know what? A lot of people are talking about, everywhere you know about cutting weight and whatnot. A lot of people are talking about Chris Eubank Jr. now being at 160 and maybe being tight at that weight now. But the rehydration clause, £10, I'm saying, listen, with a £10 rehydration clause in it, that won't affect him at all.
That won't affect him at all, but I don't really think.
Former super middleweight champion Carl Froch has expressed a measured level of enthusiasm about the matchup. He notes that Eubank Jr.'s infrequent fighting schedule, coupled with Benn's relatively untested record at higher weight classes, lowers the excitement surrounding the fight. Froch's comments reflect a portion of the boxing community that questions both the competitive legitimacy and the entertainment value of the bout.
The Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight
does absolutely nothing for me.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. lost to George Groves, he lost to Billy Joe Saunders, he doesn't box, he boxes once a year. He looked terrible in his last fight. He was slow with his jab, he was leaving his chin in the air, his balance looks like it's gone. He's 36 years old, talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez and taking on all these top... He was talking about Triple G for a while, who's now gone 40 and retired.
Yeah.
Conor Benn? What's Conor Benn done? He beat Chris Algieri and failed, he's failed that drugs test. We're not seeing him do anything. He's fought nobody, he's not developed. He's not developed, he's done nothing. So for Conor Benn to jump in there with Chris Eubank Jr., the only reason that fight would be close is because they're probably going to drain Eubank down to 160, a middleweight. And then but Conor Benn's having to come up from 147. So
gap there.
It's not an exciting fight. He don't prove anything.